He came from the forgotten corners of Rio de Janeiro, where dreams are easy to lose and even harder to chase. Born into a life of struggle, Thiago Silva had nothing but determination, a football, and an impossible dream. No one expected him to survive what came next. Before the trophies, before the stadiums filled with roaring fans, there was silence, hospital walls, and a disease that nearly ended everything. This isn't just the story of a footballer. It's the story of a man who fought death, rejection, and obscurity just to prove he belonged at the top. From the dirt fields of Brazil to the elite clubs of Europe, his journey is filled with twists you won't believe. How did he go from almost quitting football to becoming one of the greatest defenders in history? What's behind the life he built? The wealth, the luxury cars, the personal battles he kept hidden from the cameras. Stay with us, because what you're about to discover will change the way you see Thiago Silva forever. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss what happens next. After surviving one of the darkest chapters of his life, a near-fatal battle with tuberculosis, Thiago Silva returned to Brazil not just with hope, but with a fire burning inside him. It wasn't just about playing football again. It was about reclaiming everything he had nearly lost. In 2006, he signed with Fluminense, the club that had once believed in him during his early days. But this time, he wasn't just another young talent. He was a man on a mission. At Fluminense, it didn't take long for Thiago to stand out. On the field, he played with urgency, grace, and an understanding of the game that felt almost instinctive. He wasn't just defending, he was commanding. Fans, coaches, and even rival teams began to notice his speed, his sharp tactical mind, and the calm intensity he brought to every match. By 2007, he had become a pillar in the squad and played a decisive role in the club's Copa do Brasil victory. That win didn't just bring a trophy. It brought Fluminense back to the Copa Libertadores and Thiago back to the spotlight. Then came 2008, a year that would forever live in the hearts of Fluminense fans. The club embarked on a historic run in the Copa Libertadores, and Thiago Silva was at the heart of it. With every interception, every tackle, every moment of leadership, he carried the team forward. Though they fell short in the final against LDU, Thiago's performances had made headlines around the world. He wasn't just a Brazilian star anymore. He was now on the radar of European giants. By December of that same year, the dream became reality. Thiago Silva was sold to AC Milan, one of the most legendary clubs in world football. But even then, his journey didn't start smoothly. Due to a foreign player limit, he had to wait before he could officially play. It would have been easy to get frustrated, easy to doubt, but Thiago waited patiently, trained harder than ever. And when his time finally came in 2009, he was unstoppable. Placed alongside the iconic Alessandro Nesta, Thiago quickly became one half of what would be considered one of the strongest defensive duos in Serie A. His positioning was flawless, his pace unmatched, and his technique elegant, a rare blend of power and finesse. Milan fans fell in love with him. The club's leadership trusted him, and in 2011 he helped lead the team to a long-awaited Serie A title, breaking years of drought and restoring Milan's place at the top of Italian football. His rise was undeniable. Match after match, Thiago Silva earned his place among the greatest defenders in the world. Praise came not only from fans, but from legends of the game. That's when he earned a nickname that would follow him forever. The Monster. Not because of fear, but because of respect. Because when Thiago Silva was on the pitch, even the best strikers in the world struggled to breathe. Then, in 2012, as the football world watched the rise of a new force in France, the Paris Saint-Germain project, fueled by billionaire investment, it was clear that PSG wasn't just buying players, they were building a new empire, and Thiago Silva was at the top of their list. When Paris Saint-Germain set out to become one of Europe's football giants, they knew they needed more than just money. They needed a symbol, a leader, someone who could set the tone for a new era, and in 2012, their eyes landed on one name, Thiago Silva. To make that happen, PSG made an offer that Milan simply couldn't refuse. $42 million is around 118 million reais at the time. It was a staggering figure, one of the highest ever paid for a defender. But to PSG, it wasn't just about the price. It was about building a legacy. From the moment Thiago arrived in Paris, he was more than just a new signing. He was the cornerstone of a revolution. He was handed the captain's armband almost immediately, and with it, the responsibility of leading a team full of stars, egos, and expectations. The pressure was immense, but Thiago carried it with the same calm authority he brought to every tackle and every header. Year after year, he helped turn PSG from a domestic contender into a European powerhouse. Over the course of his 8-year spell in Paris, Thiago Silva lifted 7 League One titles, along with a collection of national cups and super cups. He wasn't just winning, he was dominating. Time and time again, he was named the best defender in the league, and his name became synonymous with consistency, class, and courage. Yet despite all the silverware, one title always remained just out of reach, the UEFA Champions League. And then came 2020, a year unlike any other. In the middle of a global pandemic, PSG reached their first ever Champions League final. It was a moment of destiny, and Thiago Silva, as captain, led his team into battle against Bayern Munich. The match ended in heartbreak, with PSG falling just short of their long-awaited European dream. And just like that, it was over. His time in Paris had come to an end. No grand farewell with fans in the stadium, no parade, just a quiet goodbye after years of unforgettable memories. But for Thiago Silva, the journey was far from over. Many thought that at 36, his best days were behind him. But once again, he proved the world wrong. In the same year, he signed with Chelsea, stepping into the fast-paced, unforgiving world of the Premier League. And instead of fading out, he rose to the challenge. With experience and sheer determination, Thiago quickly adapted to English football and became a defensive rock for the Blues. Then, in a twist of poetic justice, the football gods gave him another chance. In his very first season with Chelsea, Thiago Silva helped lead the club to UEFA Champions League glory, the trophy that had eluded him for so long. That moment, lifting the cup in blue, wasn't just a victory. It was redemption. It was the closing of a painful chapter and the start of a new legacy. He stayed with Chelsea for multiple seasons, proving week after week that age is just a number when you have discipline, leadership, and love for the game. Even with younger defenders arriving, he remained a central figure in the squad, respected, admired, and still performing at an elite level. To this day, Thiago Silva is regarded as one of the greatest defenders of his generation, not just for his talent, but for his professionalism, humility, and the resilience that defined his career. And then, in May 2024, after nearly 16 years playing at the highest level in Europe, Thiago Silva made a decision that touched the hearts of fans across the world. He was going home, returning to the club that first believed in him, that watched him grow, that gave him his start, Fluminense. He signed a contract valid until June 2026, marking his emotional return to Brazilian football and the closing of a full-circle journey. If this story inspired you, if you felt something watching Thiago Silva defy the odds again and again, share it in the comments. Where were you when he lifted that Champions League trophy with Chelsea? What moment in his career stands out the most for you? Let's celebrate not just the player, but the man behind the legacy. Throughout a career that spanned continents, trophies, and generations, Thiago Silva didn't just build a legacy on the pitch, he built a fortune off it. From humble beginnings in Brazil to playing under the bright lights of Milan, Paris, and London, Thiago turned talent, hard work, and smart decisions into something much bigger than just fame. He turned it into a life of stability, luxury, and pride for his family. It's estimated that his total wealth surpasses $80 million, nearly 500 million, when you combine salaries, bonuses, endorsements, and personal investments. And when you look back at the clubs he represented, that number becomes easier to understand. Fluminense, where it all began, AC Milan, where he earned global recognition, Paris Saint-Germain, where he became captain and a legend, and Chelsea, where he lifted the most coveted trophy in European football. Oh, and let's not forget his long, decorated run with the Brazilian national team. At PSG, he was one of the highest-paid players in the squad, earning around $12 million per season. And even after crossing into his mid-30s, Thiago continued to pull in massive salaries in the Premier League, not because of past glory, but because his performance remained world-class. Chelsea didn't just keep him around out of respect. They renewed his contract multiple times because he was still one of the best. But Thiago's financial success didn't come from football alone. Off the pitch, he was just as thoughtful. He made smart investments, built business relationships, and secured high-value partnerships with global brands, all while keeping a low profile and letting his game speak for itself. When it comes to lifestyle, Thiago Silva has always preferred elegance over extravagance, quiet luxury over showy displays. Yet every once in a while, fans get a glimpse of the life he's built. In 2022, he and his wife Belle Silva began building a dream home in Mangaratiba, one of the most exclusive and scenic areas of Rio de Janeiro. The mansion was constructed from the ground up, and every detail was chosen with care, from the stunning wine cellar to the tasteful interior design. It's not just big, it's beautiful. The house features all the luxuries you might expect: a pool, a sauna, a gourmet barbecue space, and even a private football pitch. Though the full value of the mansion has never been officially shared, we do know that the land alone cost over $10 million. So it's safe to say the entire estate is worth well above $80 million. A true sanctuary for someone who spent most of his life in the fast lane of elite football. And speaking of the fast lane, yes, Thiago Silva has a thing for luxury cars. He's been spotted with an impressive collection over the years, though he's always kept it subtle. Among the highlights, a Range Rover Sport, a favorite among footballers, worth around $1 million. A Porsche Panamera, blending sport and comfort, also valued at over $1 million. A powerful and commanding Mercedes-Benz G63 AMG, worth more than $2 million. A Bentley Bentayga, another elite SUV, also in the $2 million range. And perhaps the crown jewel, a Ferrari Italia, an exotic supercar that easily passes $3 million in value. Whether or not he still owns them all, no one knows for sure. But what's clear is that even in luxury, Thiago prefers class over noise. But beyond the numbers, the properties and the engines, there's something far more valuable in Thiago Silva's life: family. He's been married for over 2 decades to Isabelle da Silva, known to her fans as Belle Silva, who has become a social media personality in her own right. The two have built a strong, loving relationship that has stood the test of time, fame, and pressure. Together they have 2 children, Iago and Isago, and Belle often shares snippets of their daily life with fans across the globe. While Thiago may be quiet and reserved in public, his family has always been his foundation. And now, after all the titles, all the travels, and all the battles won on the pitch, Thiago Silva has done something that made every football romantic smile. He came home. In May 2024, after nearly 16 years playing abroad, he returned to Fluminense, the club that gave him his first real chance, the place where it all started. He signed a contract until June 2026, giving Brazilian fans the chance to watch one of their legends write the final chapters of his story in the place where his dream was born. So now, it's your turn. What do you think about Thiago Silva's return to Fluminense? Does it feel like the perfect ending to an unforgettable journey? Or is there still more to come from the monster himself? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your favorite memories, your hopes for this new chapter, and how this story has inspired you. And if this journey moved you in any way, make sure to like the video, share it with friends, and subscribe for more stories like this. Because legends like Thiago Silva don't come around often, and when they do, they deserve to be remembered.